So, thank you for coming to this class. And in today's session, I would like to touch a
Good
couple
evening,
of
Professor.
topics. I would like to touch a couple of topics which is necessary. Mute your microphone because when I'm recording the session, unmute microphone will mute the video. Can you see my video normally? This is my pen cup up. Is that normal? Okay. In the last session, I spoke about computer which actually utilized binary system. And this binary system is suitable for everything that decimal system did. So we can assign numbers, like we can express quantities in a binary system. We can assign letters in different encoding system. As I told you, that is ASCII, American Standard Code for information, and Unicode. Unicode is International Encoding System. While the first use 1 byte per character, the Unicode use 2 bytes per character. That's meaning the word cat in ASCII code will have just 3 bytes, while in ASCII code it will have 6 bytes. But limitation in ASCII code is maximum 256 characters that encoding can show. Limitation of Unicode is 65 about 1,000 characters. That's meaning so Unicode is really give more freedom and more capacity for text with different languages. Another thing, folks, I spoke that binary system allows you to make calculations the same way as decimal system do. So the rule is this: the last digit in binary system, the highest digit is 1. If you add 1 in binary, you will get 1 0. But 1 0 is 2, so don't be confused. We can easily convert it. 0 1, and that will be 2 in the power of 1 plus 2 in the power of 0 multiplied by 0, and that will be 2. The same way, binary system allows you to make all calculations, divide, subtract, multiply, and so on. But device that actually created in microelectronics to make all of these binary calculations named microprocessor. Microprocessor. Unfortunately, I don't have it in my hands, but it is microchip. Next time I will find it and will show you. Microprocessor. Microprocessor, folks, why it's named micro? Because in history of the computers, processor used to be a big processor used to be like a table. Then it became like a box from the shoes. Then it became like a keyboard. Then smaller, smaller, smaller. Now microprocessor looks um, like T card that you use in your cell phones. Microprocessor. Microprocessor absolutely do not know what to do. It doesn't have brain. It has only programming. So microprocessor is programmable. Programmable. But where is the program? Program actually it's a list of operations. It's a sequence of operations. But in our case, we can use piece of paper to put number of operations, and that will be operation 1, 2, 3, and so on. But microprocessor doesn't have any paper. So what microprocessor is supposed to do? And I will tell you, folks. Microprocessor works with big chip. It looks like 100 millimeters by 50 millimeters. And this chip is computer memory. Memory, folks, it's like a big table. So you will see cells when you analyze the structure of this memory. Memory also named RAM. RAM. Why it's named RAM? Because microprocessor has ability to read or record any of these cells randomly. But how microprocessor is supposed to know what is the cell number? That is cells supplied with the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. Now the reasonable question, how big is this table? And I will tell you. So this table is, folks, now for the normal good computer is 32 gigabyte. It is huge. 32 gigabyte. In your computer, probably it's 8, like in Apple Pad or whatever. Then RAM is placeholder for programs and data. What is program? Program, folks, is encoded for microprocessor list of operations. Why I said encoded? Because RAM is actually made to memorize binary information. It's binary. It has little cells that contain bytes. And if I open the cell of the memory, you will see in some cases 32-bit, but in some cases 64-bit binary cell. What's mean binary cell? Folks, bits is a little subcells for one digital number, either 1 or 0. So memory has freedom to put any information under control of microprocessor. So it could look like this: 1010 11101, and so on and so on, and that will be 11. But total freedom to put any information in this 32 and 64-bit. So folks, microprocessor use the beginning of this cell for the operation code. For example, this operation code could be print. Another operation code like 00101 could be addition. This one 00100 could be subtract, and so on. The rest of the memory for the programming will tell you address of the operand. I would like you to write down the name of the objects. So when microprocessor produce a certain action, we name it operation. In memory, you can find program, and program actually has a body. That is a program. And program works with the data. Data is in different area, data. And data actually could be converted to information. What is the difference between data and information? Information, folks, it's data already came out from the processing. For example, you have a list of people and it's not alphabetical. It's just a list. So this is data. It's a raw materials. But then you have a program that is shuffling them like in alphabetical order. And that already will be information. Definitely what is done for one program as data will be information for another program and vice versa. So programs can exchange data and information. But this is about operations, and operations usually have code of operations because everything in binary system must be encoded. But if we have operations like A plus B and send it to the C, instead of algebraic A plus B is equal C, we use the arrow here because if in algebra A, B, and C are variables, in computer life it is A operand, B, and C. They all are operands because they participate operands. So definitely C is a cell in a memory, and that will be filling up with information after data for A and data for B will be sent to the cell identified as C. But folks, A, B, and C are content of these memory cells. These memory cells actually will have numbers, so I can put this expression in a different way for the computer. If I say A is cell number 5, B is cell number 6, and C is cell number 10, I can put this program like this. Plus is a code of operation. Operand from cell number 5, operand from cell number 6. And then code send number 10. That is not algebraic, but program expression. This is how program look. Code operation, operands, addresses, because this is addresses of cells which participate in this operation. Any questions, folks? No questions. Very good. So consider that we have space for programs, space for data, but microprocessor cannot directly ask memory for participation. That is because, like us, it is asynchronous. So time ticking inside of microprocessor and inside of the RAM, random access memory, in different speed. I will tell you that microprocessor usually produce frequency for its operation, which is 3 gigahertz. 3 gigahertz. You need to know what is 1 hertz. 1 hertz is equal 1 operation per 1 second. So 3 gigahertz, that's meaning 3 billion operations in 1 second. There will be question in a test. Consider that microprocessor produce 1 gigahertz of frequency, meaning it produce 1 billion operations per second. What is the time frame for one operation? How to approach? 1 gigahertz is 1 multiplied by 10 in the power of 9. That is billion. What is billion? So it produces 1 multiplied by 10 in the power of 9 operations. But one operations we need to take 1 second and divide by 1 multiplied by 10 in the power of 9, which will be, that is shortening, and then we will have 10 in the power of minus 9. 10 in the power of minus 9, it is 1 nanosecond. You can find this small time measurement in the lectures. 1 nanosecond. And there are even shorter one. 1 in the minus 12 is 1 picosecond. What is the speed of RAM? How fast it works? I can tell you, so one read slash write operation is doing for 6 nanosecond. So they work in a different speed with microprocessor. How they can synchronized in this case? Okay, let me make microprocessor and RAM. RAM is a table. To synchronize RAM and MP, we need the third.
Excuse me, Professor. Can
Yes.
you tell me what represent the bar that the line you put in the rectangular figure?
This MP?
No, in the right one. Yeah.
This?
Yeah.
That represents cells.
Cells? Okay,
Because
thank you.
RAM is a table.
Okay, thank
Jean,
you.
mute your microphone now.
Yeah.
The answer, mute your microphone.
I will do that.
Thank you. So, that is cells, because RAM is a table. It's a binary table. And table has cells, and cells are enumerated. 1, 2, 3, and so on. That's billions of cells in a RAM. But to work with microprocessor, RAM need middleman. This middleman is special device named bus. Why it's named bus? Because, folks, it's information transportation device, like a bus. Information will be taken either from microprocessor and record in specific cells of the RAM, or according to request of microprocessor, it will be taken from memory and will go back to microprocessor. What for? For operations, of course. So bus actually connectivity device. I'll put here bus connectivity. But folks, memory RAM is sensitive to power. It needs power. When the power is in outage, memory cannot work. It will be zeroed. An entire computer will be zeroed. But you can turn off the computer. Even your laptop can be turned off. And then you come back to the computer, you switch it on, and it works with information that had been saved. How that happened? How is that possible? I will tell you folks that if memory is temporary storage, so this storage is working for milliseconds, only for the time of operations. Computer needs the more permanent solution for storage, and that storage could be the old-fashioned hard drive. I'll put here abbreviation HDD. It is hard disk drive. Usual capacity of hard disk drive is about 2 TB, 2 terabytes for consumers. Or it could be SSD. It's more innovative design of the permanent storage. What is the difference between permanent storage and temporary storage? Permanent storage, folks, after the power is lost or turned off, still remain everything that had been saved on it, remain it until next usage. And definitely, hard disk drive or solid state drive can be connected in bidirectional arrow to the bus. Now, what is the speed velocity of the hard drive? I will tell you that hard drive can work with read-write timing about 8 millisecond. 8 millisecond, which actually for the contemporary drive is about 200 megabyte per second. Memory works much faster. Okay, hard drive is indispensable for any computer. In your telephone, it actually represents by SD card in your telephone. So it could be SD or micro SD. What else we need, folks? We need human interface device. Let me connect it here. Human HID, human interface device, because this computer is used by you and your relatives, so that will be mouse and that will be keyboard. Consider these both devices are input devices, because information goes from outer world to the computer. What about hard disk drive? Is that input or its output? I consider that as both. It's bidirectional. So I'll say it's input-output device. So-called memory input-output device. Input, output. Now, folks, what else we need for this computer that I'm drawing now in my white paper? We need to connect TV or monitor. As I will say, monitor. Monitor. Monitor has parameter resolution. Resolution. Resolution is number of pixels because monitor shows you pixels. It is colorful dots inside. And normal resolution for the contemporary monitor is HD TV, which is 1920 by 1080 pixels. Monitor cannot directly work with a bus because bus is binary, but monitor is colorful. How can we connect visual display to the binary code? We need decoder, and this decoder named VGA, Visual Graphic Adapter. People also call it graphic card, graphic card, and it's feeding monitor with images, VGA. This computer already can receive information from you and can show information on the monitor, can make mathematical calculations, and can work with the files which actually saved on the hard drive. But this computer cannot be connected to external devices, and this computer cannot be connected to internet. To connect to internet, we need to have additional device. This device named network adapter. Network adapter. And definitely we need bidirectional communication with network adapter. Usually network adapter could have two options. That could be Wi-Fi, meaning wireless communication, or wired. Usually desktop computers are wired, and laptop computers and your telephone, they have wireless fidelity communication. And then it could be uh, modem. Modem is modulator that used to connect to cable. Cable, folks, it's what internet provider gave you to connect to outer world. That is internet provider. From provider. Okay, we have internet, but we still not have two things. First, we need to connect external devices, and that are USB port. And the last thing what we need to do, we need to output sound, and that is sound adapter, and that could be speaker, and it could be microphone. All right, so folks, this is structural diagram of computer. You can find it in inside of the lectures in in content 2, I believe, and it's carefully explained exactly like I explained it right now. But what here is paradoxical. If we need to start this computer, which actually I created on a paper, uh, and if you know where and how to buy this component, you can actually assemble computer yourself. I did it not once, but many times. Um, but this computer, when we connect all of these components and turn on the power, this computer will refuse to work. What's happened? Why? And I told you folks that microprocessor is specific device. Specific in what matter? It needs program like this. I'll put here program. Program to start up. It need to get instructions of what to do. But memory was totally clean. There were no information in memory. So when we turn computer on, microprocessor will said, I cannot work because there is no program. So on the companies who assembled these computers, they put a specific chip named BIOS. BIOS. BIOS contain initial program, initial program for microprocessor. So at the moment of beginning, this BIOS will go through the bus and it will go to the specific area of the memory RAM. Only in this case, microprocessor will get the first commands and will start working. But what microprocessor will do the first time? Folks, the first program that will be implemented in the memory and will give microprocessor opportunity to start, program named POST, P-O-S-T. P-O-S-T is power on self-test. Power on self-test. So self-test, what's meaning self-test, folks? Because microprocessor need to know its environment. Computer could have different configuration, different configuration. So it could be laptop computer with Wi-Fi or desktop computer with multiple displays and so on. Microprocessor start asking devices to report to it. For example, Mr. Keyboard, are you here? Keyboard blinked a couple of times. Then, Mr. Monitor, are you here? And monitor will report to microprocessor that it is connected and presented. Then, modem, net, memory, memory actually coming through the test. And it gives microprocessor report of its conditions. After power on self-test is successfully finished, then computer will start loading operating system. Operating system. What is operating system, folks? Operating system, you can write it down, is residential management system. It has many functions, but the most important function is it provides graphic user interface, GUI, graphic user interface. Graphic user interface, folks, is interface between you and computer. This is why the system named Windows in Microsoft. By the way, Apple also has Windows. We know several operating systems. I will go to another page. Um, One of the operating system is Android. Android operating system for the portable devices, like a telephone. Then we have uh, operating system, which is Macintosh operating system. Mac OS for the Macintosh systems. We have Microsoft Windows. What else? We have free operating system named Linux and many others. Sometimes operating system is hardly embedded into device, like operating system for, let's say, ATM machine. Nobody can change it because it's hardly embedded. Why it's embedded? Because if you can change operating system in ATM machine, it will give you money for free. It is protected. Now, what are the functions of operating system? Let me tell you, folks. Number one, of course, I will not um, list all of them. Number one is a GUI. GUI provide user interface and allows you to launch programs, close programs, save results, etc. GUI actually is control functions for everything. Number two, it is file system. Folks, file system is a specific system. Actually, it's table of contents, what you record and what you have on your HDD, hard disk drive, or SSD. Allows you to see all your files and manage all your files. Number three, it is hardware management. Hardware management, folks, allows you to recognize what kind of hardware is connected, and between microprocessor and hardware. So if we put here any hardware, and that is MP, they cannot work between each other without something named driver. Driver is interpreter. It's a piece of program contained in operating system that actually convert language of hardware to language of microprocessor. For example, language of printer. Printer can need to express itself and say, I don't have paper, or my toner is, I have not enough toner, or my communication with Wi-Fi is broken, and so on and so on. Number four, software management. All of this is operating system function. Operating system. What is software management, folks? It's installation and uninstallation of programs. What does that mean, folks? Computer doesn't have programs, all programs that you need. It could have a certain quantity, but it will not be always satisfactory. So you need to buy a certain programs to install on your computer. For example, if you don't have Photoshop, you need to buy and install it. But if you have a newer version of Photoshop and you need to install new version, you need to uninstall the older version. So operating system allows you to do this. Number five, networking. Networking. Folks, that could be local area network or wide area network. We will study all of these functions, but that are functions of operating system, communication functions. Six, user management. User management. What is user management, folks? If somebody, let's say intruder, would like to open your computer where you contain some kind of secret information about your bank account, about your personal data and so on, computer must reject this automatically. So user management includes two very important functions. It is identification, and second one is authentication. What is identification, folks? Identification that you are you, meaning that you have a username and it will be understandable. Authentication, that is secret word, passwords. In contemporary world, that is not enough. So the third party is triple authentication, meaning use the second device. Like they send a specific code on your cell phone, and then you come back with this code to authenticate yourself. So, folks, that is some functions. I'll go for number 7, folks. Number 7, backup for your personal data. I will tell you, folks, that computer is not ideal. Computer can malfunction, computer can lose the data, and so on. So this is a reasonable point to make a backup of your files. And of course, number 8 is recovery. Recovery. Number 9, folks, very important. This is permanent updates. The company like Microsoft or Apple and other companies that produce operating systems, they are live organisms. They create more and more features for operating systems and better protection from intruders and so on and so on. So it usually updates itself. And I will increase this table day by day when we work with operating system. But so far, I would like to tell you folks that operating system is graphical. Graphical meaning it uses mouse. Mouse is pointing device. Pointing. What is pointing? It has cursor. Cursor. So what we have as a mouse gestures. I will say first mouse on. Mouse on when the mouse cursor goes upon a certain object. Then number 2. Mouse click. When you first click. Number 3. Double click. Number 4. Click and move and release. We call it drag and drop. When you need to move the file into the certain window. Number 5 is scroll. And number 6 is right mouse button. Right mouse button. All of these gestures of the mouse or pointing device must be recognized by operating system, and operating system respond to these gestures accordingly. All right. Couple of things that I would like to tell you. Sometimes when you connect your flash drive, which looks like this probably, that is flash drive to the USB port. USB port is something like this. This flash drive does not need drivers to be installed. It immediately starts working. So folks, this feature named plug and play. Plug and play. What's happened? Microsoft, maybe 10 years ago, maybe earlier, they sent letters to all manufacturers of the hardware with suggestion to register in Microsoft to create certified product. certified product. And some people send technical data to Microsoft. And Microsoft wrote drivers that works for many, let's say, relative devices like flash drives, like external hard drives, printers, or scanners, and so on. So when you connect this device to the operating system through the USB port, then operating system recognize this device according to its own BIOS, which is actually sitting inside of this device, and installed appropriate driver. So driver is a little piece of software that provide translation between two languages, language of hardware to language of operating system.